Hello, and welcome to another episode on Let Design Innovate. This episode is on empowering parents, homeschooling in Illinois. I am your host, Selena, and today we will dive into the ins and outs of homeschooling in the great state of Illinois. So, if you are not in Illinois, there are some things that I'm going to cover today that will apply. If you are homeschooling already, there are some things that you may learn from as well. And if you are just contemplating homeschooling, this is the place for you. So, welcome. Now, regardless of why you are here and deciding on homeschooling or interested in homeschooling, this episode is packed with valuable information to get you started. So, just a little anecdote about me. I homeschool my son. He is 12 years old in high school. He just wrote a book. He's working on his second book. These are great accomplishments as not only as a mother, but as a homeschool teacher. I enjoy the process. It has not always, it's not has not all has always been this exciting, right? We have mastered the process, and we are both enjoying the process of homeschooling. Homeschooling is not easy. Just think of like now, if your child is at school, you get up, you send them off to school, and you come back, and they come back, and that's 4, 5, 6 hours just gone. When you're homeschooling, every day you're and your child, you're there. And so that takes adjustments. Just the scheduling, if you are working from home or if you're doing part-time work, or you and your husband are both doing it, and you have these weird schedules to make it work, that takes time to adjust. But overall, the experience and what your child get out of it, I think it's worth it. My son did not was not finding his space in traditional learning environments, and to prevent him from being labeled or you know in a position where he just hates school, or just disengaged enough where he's just not cooperating with the process at all. I took the initiative to homeschool him, because I felt like I could provide a better learning space for him. So let's get to it. First thing first, why are you homeschooling? So you need to understand why you're doing it and what are the motives. Um, I don't want it to be the thing where everyone's doing it, so I'm doing it. So really understand what is your objective of homeschooling. Homeschooling really offers a personalized learning experience tailored to your child's unique need and interest. And I say unique because if you have one or more children, the education experience, the learning sharing that goes on will be different for each child, because each child is different. If you have two children that learn alike, are able to receive the information alike, you're blessed. Um, that is not always the case. And my empathy goes out to teachers who are in classrooms where there is a 1 to 20, 1 to 25, 1 to 30 student teacher ratio. Um, and they are in classrooms by themselves, without a TA sometimes, lack of resources, and let's face it, underpaid, right? We can pay sports figures, millions of dollars, and pay our teachers less than 100, thousand. And so let's kind of, have empathy for your teachers because they are not able to do and provide sometimes not able to provide the experience that your child needs, especially if they are in schools where they are really being censored and the information is really being structured in a way as assembly line where the child is really not keeping up and really benefiting from the space. So understand why you're homeschooling. Know that, when you homeschool, it allows you the flexibility and you have a more hands-on approach to learning. Um, you can embark on this journey, and there's many steps to do it. Your learning environment doesn't necessarily have to be contained within your home or within one room. You can, explore outside. It's just a lot of places that you can. Learning happens everywhere, and so you can kind of explore. Like the world is your learning environment, and so you can go out and just explore. And I love that aspect of it. The first thing I want you to know is that you really need to know. Um, you need to know the laws that are in your particular state before you even start homeschooling. And so if you are in Illinois, I suggest that you go to um, the Illinois educational website, which is isbe.net. There is tons of information. You can check out the FAQ pages. They have material and resources. They talk about the requirement. They even offer a link to homeschool communities. And so go to this website, isbe.net, so that you can understand what the requirements are before you embark on this journey. Why is this important? It's important because you don't want to be in a situation where um, your nosy neighbor out of concern sees that your child is home all the time and then um, contacts the Department of Children and Welfare, and now you are in a situation where you did not actually go about it the right way. And so in addition to isbe.net, I also think that you need to explore, and there's a lot of information on the homeschool legal website. I love this organization. It's the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. It offers you can get your ID cards, as well as, they have a membership where if you are in a situation where someone called and you did not go about the process correctly, or someone is challenging you homeschooling, and this is not just for Illinois, this is for any state, that they will help you through the process. They have a lot of information out there, even about the whole like communities, and it's just a lot of information out here on this site. So there's other legal defense organization. I love this particular one, so I would suggest that you also explore this website as well to get more information about what are the process as well. And you also, like I said, some places, like if I go to Barnes and Noble, they ask me, if I'm buying books for a teacher discount, and HSLDA offers that actual ID card. So that's a great thing. And so there are resources out there. And so you need to kind of explore those. And so once you have adhered to your state laws, so like in Illinois, you have to make sure that you notify your school districts, and you just want to make sure that you're complying with whatever the necessary reporting and testing requirements are. Some states require a lot of, strict testing or documentation. So you want to just make sure that you're adhering to that. So that's, the first step, making sure that you are abiding by, the rules, and officially withdrawing your child from their current school system if they're already in school. And so then the next thing you want to do is determine what type of homeschool approach you're going to use. And I really don't want to say, you should do this, because I believe that your child is unique. You are different. Your home environment is different. And so that applies to all the families that's listening to this video right now. And so what you need to do is kind of go through and understand there is a traditional method where you have the textbooks and you have the worksheets, right? If that works for your child and that's the method that you want to go, perfect. There's online platforms. I know people like, oh, can you? I didn't know you can use online platforms. Absolutely. With my son, when he was doing Spanish, I actually hired a company where actually, he would get on line with them for like 25 minutes and they would kind of go over, different Spanish lessons. And I love it because they were natives, right? And I speak a little Spanish, but not as well as a native. And so that was a great experience. So you can actually utilize different platforms to help you in this process. And so you just need to select the one that aligns best with your child's learning style and then even your teacher preference, right? Because if you've never taught before, that's a whole process in itself. Then you need to determine what curriculum you're going to use. So you want to design, one of the things that I, let design innovate is based on design thinking and design principles. I am pursuing my PhD at the Institute of Design at Illinois Institute of Technology, and where we're using design thinking to kind of address complex problems. And homeschooling is a complex problem, right? And so even designing your curriculum, you want to make sure that you're covering your core subjects like math, language, arts and social studies, but you want to make sure that you're tailoring it to your child's learning pace as well. My son, at one point, we were going over, computing composite figures, and it took us 3 months in a traditional classroom environment. It's impossible, right? Because the class kind of had to go at a certain pace. When you're homeschooling, you can go at your child's pace. And so I had the opportunity of trying different things and videos and, and books. And we end up doing arts and craft, right? We end up cutting out figures and making figures and measuring the figures. And that whole process registered with him. If he was in a traditional environment, he would not have had that allotted time, right? And so those are the things that you get from homeschooling your child. You have those opportunities to tailor your learning plans and journey to your child's unique learning pace. And it makes, like sometimes it was times where I couldn't even keep up with him. I'm like, oh my God, he is going through this material so fast that I don't know what to do. Right. And so you're going to run into those things. Keep pushing forward. And so as you gather resources, as you decide you're going to do your textbooks, make sure you really kind of look at the textbooks, you look at the reviews, you really make sure that it fits your child. There's educational material, there's online resources to support you in your curriculum, as you saw on the website that I just showed. ISBE had materials in the resource section on their site. So please, like, go out, do your research. One thing that I do love as part of the homeschool experience is that you can just go to the library and the museum and you can just kind of explore, right? And so think of the world as your learning environment so you can explore. Now, once you kind of got your curriculum and you gathered all your resources, you kind of need to set a schedule. A lot of people like to take the schedule of their districts. And so the advantage of doing that is that if you decide to do extracurriculum activities, which I strongly recommend, it helps with the socialization skills. It also gives you a break, getting the child out of your space into a space with other kids. And so it's a great opportunity. However, when you're doing those activities, their schedule usually coincide with the traditional school system schedule. And so if you want to do something in the middle of the day, sometimes that may be a challenge. But I will say what I've seen lately, especially in Illinois, is that organizations like the YMCA and the park districts are really realizing that the homeschool community is a thriving community, and they're starting to offer services for them at times that where school is in session. And so last semester we, for PE, he was doing swimming at 1 o'clock, so that was up at 1 o'clock. And so at that time he was able to go. It was like, I don't know, 30 or 40 minutes. He did his swimming. I ate. That was my lunchtime. And so it worked. And so there are a lot of resources, and you just need to kind of research what those are and how that fits into your schedule. But um, you can do traditional, or you can do some. It doesn't have to be Monday through Friday from 8 to 2:30. You can do. I'm going to do Saturday to Thursday. When I first started out, I did Saturday and Sunday because those were the times that my clients were quiet, and I didn't have to worry about email. I can disconnect from that part of my life, and I can really focus on him and give him that really, really attentive time. Now that we've been doing it so long, he doesn't need as much, um, you know, uh, uh, m- of me just kind of micromanaging him. He is self-sufficient, and I love that. He kind of he works independently, which is really good. When he is struggling, we can work together. And so um but that schedule needs to be based on your household needs. I like to go year round, and so January to December, and then I take breaks for spring, summer, fall time. You need to do what works for you. Maybe you want to do the regular season, traditional season, and maybe you want to, alter it. But you do what's best for you, and don't let anyone pressure you into doing a certain type of way. Figure out what works for you and your family. So once you have set your schedule and you have your curriculum, one thing that I do really suggest is that you join a homeschool community. Connect with your local groups because they are a valuable, and I mean valuable, support resources. And they do provide another opportunity for socialization because you have other kids that are in the same, going through the same journey as your child. And then you may even find a parent that may um, be strong in a subject that you're not, and you may be strong in a subject that they're not in, and now you guys can kind of, you teach that subject and I teach that subject, and so that works as well. And so especially when you start off, joining a homeschool community is very pertinent to the process. Be careful with the homeschool community that you join. So a lot of times they'll allow you to come to a couple events that they are having, talk to the parents, talk to multiple parents, because you just don't want to just, you want to know the type of community that you're getting involved in. And so once you have all of that, there's one thing that we really kind of need to like take a little time to talk about right now is, how do you assess your child? That is going to be, once again, an individual choice because this is your own personal learning journey for your child. But, you know, I'm assuming if you're homeschooling, you're trying to get away from this whole, concept of standardized tests. I suffer from test anxiety, and so I don't really do well with tests. And so understanding the problem that I have with standardized tests is that when you give a child a test and they suffer from some type of anxiety and they don't score the way you um, want them to score, you're making a um, you're suggesting, you're making a suggestion about that child's knowledge, which is not true, right, all the time. And so you have to be very, very careful when you're doing standardized tests. The wordings could be off and kind of confuse. I mean, it could be multiple things, right? So figure out how you're going to assess your child. I like to use like practical things, and so if we're, one of like measurements was one of the things that my son had problems with. And so he just, what's the point? I don't understand. What's the point of me learning this? I'm not going to use it. Okay, well, you know what? You like making waffles. Let's go downstairs and make waffles. And what do you need to do? You need to measure things out. And that is something that you can use, because if the waffles don't come out right, you gonna know he did not measure something right. And so you want to find practical things to do. If you want to determine if your child he understands how to add and subtract. Take them to the store, give them money to purchase things, see if they know what the change is, see if they, before they even get to the register, if they can tell you how much if they can estimate up what the cost of the items are. Practical life, right? So what's happening now is that we're giving our children information, and a lot of times they just don't know how to apply it. They don't know you just give me, what am I doing this with, right? You want me to know the year when the Revolutionary War, stop, right? Unless I'm a historian, why do I need to know the year? What is that doing for me, right? There's other ways of critical thinking and memorizing information where I don't have to be penalized because I didn't remember a year that didn't have anything, that don't even apply, that I'm not going to use, right? And so those are the things that you have to determine, like what information you're going to share with your child, and how you're going to assess, because that's really important, because you really want to make sure that the information that you're giving your child, that they're receiving it, they understand it, they can use it and apply it to practical life, right? That's why we're teaching our children. That's why our children are being taught, right? We want them to be critical thinkers. We want them to be innovators. We also want them to be able to use whatever knowledge that they're getting and to apply it, because if not, what's the point, right? So assessing is, one of those things, you have the flexibility that allows you to kind of cater to your child's strength in areas that require more attention, which is a great thing. Like with the compositive figures, I can spend 3 months on that. And so just make sure that you find an appropriate way to assess your child. I don't want to say, and maybe I've already said that, but if standardized tests is your thing, have at it. And so I want you to figure out what's right for you and your family. And what's right for you and your family is the right thing, right? I think it's just that simple. Also, just make sure that you are making the experience engaging. And that your child is enjoying it and you are enjoying the experience. It won't be 100%, this is so, happy all the time, but you want to make sure that you guys are enjoying that experience. So, let's just remember that homeschool is a unique journey. Each family is different, and it's essential to remain patient and adaptable. So this doesn't work, let me do this. This doesn't work, let me try that. You're not alone in this journey. There is a thriving homeschool community ready to offer support and guidance. To sum it up, homeschool in Illinois do require you to adhere to state laws. I want you to make sure that you carefully plan and commit to providing a quality education that's tailored to your child's needs. It's a rewarding experience. I am, very happy with knowing that I had part in his teaching experience. It can be empowering not only for you but for your child. On this, you can make it this educational adventure, right? And so make sure that you are enjoying the process, that your child is getting the things that they need. So thank you in joining me in this episode, and I hope that I provided valuable information and insight on homeschooling, if only just to one person. Remember that each child is unique, and with dedication and support, you can create and have a fulfilling learning experience right there in your home, outside in the backyard, wherever you decide to, have those spaces. Transforming education is part of my journey. It is not an individual journey, it's a community effort. Your input, whether it is positive or critical, is highly valuable in my PhD journey. I don't claim to have all the answers, nor do I believe that what I say is, written in stone. But I do believe that through collaboration, we, you and I, can develop strategies to benefit all children together, right? We can make a difference and impact the future of education in our kids. So please, please feel free to share your thoughts and insights. They're crucial to this process. If you want to learn more about my research, you can go to letdi.org. If I am, doing something that you don't like in this video, leave me a comment. I mean, I need critical criticism. I need to understand what I need to do to get better, as well as if there's a subject that you want me to cover, let me know. If there's a subject that um, I should dive more into, please let me know. If you are interested in having a conversation, I am looking for parents. I'm looking for students to even collaborate, because part of my research is participatory research, where you as the stakeholder, and you are the stakeholder, the parents, the teachers, the administration, school administrations, the counselors, all above are part. It's all hands on deck. You guys need to be part of this process. And for me to understand what framework I should be creating to help in this process, I need your input. And so I am, open for Zoom calls. I'm willing to come and do workshops and surveys to gather information so that we can learn together. So just please, right, you can either go on my website and connect through the contact page. You can below, you can leave a comment, but I am truly, truly, truly looking forward to collaborating with you. And so if you like this here video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave a comment so that I can make it better. As well, subscribe to my channel so that you can be updated on my upcoming episodes. And until next time, happy, happy, happy homeschooling.